Hello YouTubers, and today I'm reviewing this, which is the newly released 6th Doctor and Tardis set, which has just come out at B&M here for 2023 as part of their first 2023 wave. So yeah, here it is, and let's get into it, because this is an interesting and a bit of a bizarre set. So let's take a look at the 6th Doctor himself, which is the first ever 6th Doctor to get a release at B&M. And what's interesting about the 6th Doctor is that this is not one of his TV costumes. This is his Ultimate Adventure stage show costume, and particularly the stage show version. Now, what's interesting about that is that if you look at actually publicity images for the stage show just before Colin Baker took over from John Pertwee, for the publicity images, he's not actually wearing this costume, which is what he ultimately wore for the actual stage show. He's wearing his TV costume, but it's a mishmash, because he's wearing his Terror of the Vervoids waistcoat, but he's got the red and white polka dot cravat on. It's an interesting one, but this is the one based on the one he wore for the majority of the time. And yeah, for the most part, it is a slightly simplified version of that costume, but it is really well. It's got all the little checkered and that details and that, all the lines and that going down the purple and everything. It is, unfortunately, it's missing the cat badge. Unfortunately, he does have a cat badge, but yeah, this is actually something that is missing from this, which, yeah, is weird because we've got all this checkered detailing, but we do not have the cat badge. It might be because in some of the photos and that he doesn't actually have it in, so maybe that's why, but there are bits of footage out there where I can see that he does actually have a cat badge. The cravat is just like a plain blue colour, and you can see that the waistcoat is again a simplified version of what he actually wore, and the trousers as well, again very similar to his TV ones, but very slightly different, since we've got thick sort of black lines, but then sort of thinner, sort of lighter coloured lines, and the shoes and that are pretty well done with the lines and that going through there. So yeah, it's really well detailed on that, and for the longest time the excuse was, oh, we couldn't afford to do a 6th Doctor because of the paint apps and stuff like that. Well, you know, here it is, I have one in hand, and this one is just about as complicated as the TV costume. So yeah, hopefully we may get a TV version, or at least a simplified version of the TV version costume released. Because I've been saying for the longest time, you know, there's that real-time 6th Doctor that could easily be re-released, because that's a dead simple one to do. But Aldera hates doing direct re-releases. Now, there is a cost-cutting measure to this 6th Doctor. And it might be hard to tell, because on his own, he doesn't look too bad, but especially though in person, he may look slightly off. His skin tone particularly will look slightly off, and the fact is that his head is unpainted. Yeah, apart from the eye details and the eyebrows and that, I don't think his lips are actually painted, but apart from the eyes and that, this figure is basically completely unpainted, which, yeah, it is a shame that he is. So just looking at him here, you can really tell that, you know, it's just the raw plastic itself that has been dyed this colour in order to basically make it match as closely as possible the actual flesh tone. The Richard Hurdle figure was not the case. So yeah, it doesn't look too bad, and there is one advantage to this, in that you can, you know, see sort of like all the raw sort of details and that to him, particularly like in the cheekbones and that. And this will also be good for customizers who like to like change things and that like that. Now, since it is a 6th Doctor body, the head should be removable, and I think it is, though I don't want to personally try it. I think it will probably come off. The hands, it doesn't really matter too much on the hands because it's a lot harder to tell, but with the head itself, yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of mixed and that about this, to be honest. So yeah, the hairs and that though is really well done on that. So I don't know if that's the cost of getting a 6th Doctor at B&M, then so be it, I guess. Because, yeah, this is when we get on to the TARDIS, which is interesting. Because this is not the TARDIS from the Ultimate Adventure. No. This is from the TV show. Now, it's not stated exactly when it was. Aldebar states that it's meant to be between seasons 23 and 24, when it's pretty battered just before McCoy got into it. Some people are saying it's actually more resemblance of how it looked between seasons 21 and 22. I mean, you could say either or. I mean, it's the same box regardless. And yeah, not that that's a bad thing. And particularly if you, I'm going to say this now, if you missed out on any of the B&M 5th Doctor TARDISes, then I recommend getting this one. So, because it is very, very similar to it. Now, unfortunately, this TARDIS is non-electronic. Which, yeah, I don't know why. Alexa, end call. Alexa, end call. I really don't know why. So, yeah, it's just annoying like that. It's got no electronics. Now, to be fair to it, the price does reflect that. It does reflect that. Because it is only £25, not the initial £35, which was initially stated. However, if this was £35, and it had the electronics, and also this Sixth Doctor had the paint apps and that to him, then I wouldn't be complaining that at all. I'd be, I'd be slightly annoyed at the price increase, but I'd still be happy enough with the price. So, yeah, not too angry in that with it, to be honest. It's just annoying. So, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like annoying because it's an AC's box, and I would have much rather this one had the electronics than the actual First Doctor one to actually have had them, because again, this one, is a one based on the one from the TV show, whereas the First Doctor one, which is right here, it's been sitting on my desk for a year, isn't, basically. So that, it's just really irritating, because the detail on that is quite nice. It's probably one of the nicest TV boxes and that is being released. It's got really nice weathering and that too. It doesn't feel as, cheap or as hollow and that. So it is a shame that does not have, any of the lights or the sound effects. So yeah, I really don't get why that we had it last year, we don't have it this year, but at least the price, reflects that. So yeah, it is annoying. Turning to the packaging for this though, it's a similar deal to what we had last year. However, there are some subtle improvements. For one, it's only an open window on 2 sides as opposed to 3, so it means that the box itself is a lot sturdier and that it was previously, so that's a good regard in terms of that. It still unfortunately does have the open window, although I will say it isn't poking out quite as much as the David Bradley from last year was. That one was really poking out of the front quite a bit. So, there's sort of things here and there, but still, it's still a worry that, that I'm not really worried about people actually stealing this figure. Like maybe B&M should be. I'm more worried about where, if this hits the floor or something like that, that's gonna come in contact with that and become easily damaged. It does, though, again, to be fair, it does feel a bit sturdier. Now, for character going on and on about using less plastic, they're still putting this bloody plastic through the side posts of the TARDIS. Now, my one is actually remarkably straight, the one I've opened. This is the one I'm keeping sealed, and that one is slightly more bent. So it's just why? It doesn't need to be. I mean, one, it's screwed into the box anyway, and those doors, if the doors, okay, say the doors were open, that one may flap about, but it's not going to do, it flapping about like this, it's not going to do any damage. And this one, it's either going to be like that, or it's going to be like that, because it's spring-loaded. So, yeah, I wish they'd just stop putting the plastic and that in there, because, again, it's damaging the thing itself. So, overall, I really do like this TARDIS set. I really do. The thing is, though, it just has those little things, like, you know, I'm not as angry about it not having the electronics and that, since the price does reflect it, but I'm still annoyed that it doesn't. And the Sixth Doctor, while I do really like this variant, if it had just have had the paint apps and that, you know, like, I don't mind spending a bit extra. I don't mind spending more when the quality is there. You know, if we're going down the route of in the future, just like, okay, less variety, but, you know, go quality over quantity, basically. Like, you know, that's all I'm going to say. But yeah, I do recommend getting this Tardis set if you can find it. If you can find it. I've had a right time buddy finding it, and there will be a video about that soon. But yeah, overall, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.